Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Diets. I'm Joey.
And I'm Tim.
I want to quick thank our Patreon, PayPal supporters, and the people who leave money in the comments for supporting the show. It's been a crazy year, which we're going to talk about, and you guys have just been there the whole way, and it's just been amazing. Thank you for your support. Without that, the show would not exist. All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. So this was probably one of the biggest years of our lives, right? Yeah. And we knew going into it, it was going to be. So it wasn't a surprise, right. But it was a milestone year on so many levels that, and some of it we've known for 20 years. And some of it just kind of presented itself like right before the year started, right?
Yeah. I love heading into the new year because it's a chance for a reset for everyone. We've run into a number of people who, 2024 wasn't a good year for them. And so I thought it was important to share, like, all these milestones that we had.
Yeah.
And it was a positive year.
Yeah, it was very positive. I mean, a lot of stuff happened. So we're just going to start from the beginning, and we'll bring you along with everything that's happened, and we'll just see what, we'll see what you think. First, in 2023 in December, we know this. I had went to I got tired of trying to eat correctly and not understanding why my weight wasn't changing and my body didn't work the same way as everyone else's. And I got so tired of hearing people say, all you have to do is do this. All you have to do worked for me. This worked for this person. And finally, I was just like, this is it. I need a professional.
You must be cheating.
I must be cheating. Yeah, you're cheating. You're eating too. What? You're eating 1,400 calories a day. You're still getting away. You're cheating. No, I'm not. Right? So, and I talked myself into thinking I was cheating. I was like, well, I must be. I'm doing this. Like, I had a half an orange that I didn't put down, right? There it is, right? Like, I gave up, and I went to a trainer. Maybe I didn't give up, but I was like, I'm going to a trainer. So I went to a trainer, as you all know, and we did some work and all that, and then he basically helped me to understand that my metabolism was really low, and later on I would come to find out why. And he didn't really explain why, but it was low. And
he brought it up.
He brought it up, and because he did a 3D scan, and he was just like, "Here's what we're going to do to deal with it. You're going to change the way you eat." And I keep in mind, I was like a starch solution person, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
to the T, and I think he just introduced like, hey, like, listen to me. I've transformed this many lives, and
kind of we have also, right? Like, but he brought up some ideas that I had not really considered, like, you're not getting enough protein, right? And you're an old man, like, you need to say that, but at your age, you need more protein. Your bones need it, your body needs it, and what you're doing is not working. So I had to make some changes, right? And the thing about this was right at the end of the year, 2023, and I was like, all right, I need to start putting things in place, right? Like, I'm not prepared to just start eating a lot of protein and start changing my lives. I've got a YouTube channel all about minimal protein, right?
Right, and up to this point, we've sort of like, paleo-faleo, or we've had little things about high protein, maybe it doesn't make sense from what we've read.
Right.
But here was the guy saying, look, I've transformed lives this way, and so we were like, why don't we give this a try?
I went in there with like, I'm just going to do whatever he says, other than eating meat, because he was like, well, here's what you're going to eat. And I was like, I'm not eating it. Like, I'm not eating this. It was eggs.
And he said chicken. Kind of on the vegan side, he's like, you're kind of on your own, but you need to this is your protein goal. So however you get there. Yeah. And so we went to work.
So luckily, I was smart enough with having to handle my own macros and all that. So I was, listen, I got the food. You just tell me what I need, right? I'll handle it from there. So bang, January 1st, right? I jump in. So I started a new way of eating, exercising, training. Like I don't look the same. I'm a different person, right? So you can see here, like, the picture of me from when we did the 12 days of Chimpmas in 2023, and then a year later, like last week, right? Like, I'm a different person. So I set on this year-long journey, and it was a struggle because we have this group of starch solution enthusiasts, right? That's 13,000 people strong on Facebook. I have a whole YouTube channel on lower protein eating, high starch, high carbohydrates, with like 45,000 people, right? Like, which is now against everything that I'm doing, right?
Not necessarily, because it had a positive impact on our life. We now know that calorically dense is fat, oil. So when we cook, we're sautéing. A lot of times we know when to use water.
So
like there are some things
we
that
took a
we've
lot
taken
from
that.
it. Yeah, we have. So it was not against everything, but it was just not giving me the protein I needed.
Yes.
And we saw that because I would lose some weight, and in the end, I never actually lost any fat, and I was losing muscle. So
I know the goal was to get higher protein, but it was also, as we're building muscle, you need muscle to burn fat.
Yeah,
Am I right? So there was a couple different goals, and you can't build muscle if you don't have enough protein. I mean, it just kind of made sense, right?
I'm going to go into a whole video on that, on how that affects me as a shorter guy. But yes, so I had to create, first of all, I had to change the channel over. And I thought, this is never going to work. People are just going to leave like it's over, right? And I love doing this, right? It's really not about, it's a monetized channel, obviously, but I don't make enough money off of YouTube to retire, right? Like, I still got to work for a living, right?
Yeah, we embarked on this new mission statement.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So I was just like, if I'm going through this, maybe other people are, right? So I changed the channel to be a high-protein, vegan, lower-calorie channel. Or I started making the channel about what I'm eating now, and it was basically 1,400 calories or less and 140 grams of protein.
Yeah, but you did the chronometer training as well?
I trained myself and everyone else.
Yes.
Right? I basically trained all of you out there, right?
Yeah.
Not only that, but one of the exciting things about that is, you know who's doing 1,400 calories on YouTube with 140 grams of protein? Nobody, right? Nobody, right? The vegan gym's doing it at 1,800 calories, right? Because, they're all muscular, so they're burning calories. I'm not. So I had to make all new recipes, right? Right from the beginning. Everything, a year of brand new recipes. Everything I had been cooking, my entire cookbook was pointless.
Yeah,
right?
There are a lot of people under 5'8" who that's their macros, right?
Yeah. So, well, I'm like 5'2", it's like me and Tom Cruise, that's it, right? So I had to create all new food for the channel. Yeah. So I not only changed the channel, I changed what I was eating, I changed what I was showing, and I thought, this is the end, right?
No, it was really exciting. We got feedback from people who were like, I was just thinking about the same thing.
So
some people got lost. Some people were like, I don't know who you are anymore. Right. But though there are those who just trusted the process, did it themselves.
I think because of our age, we're all coming to the realization that we have to have more protein. Like, what we've been doing isn't working. So, it works.
Going forward, not to prevent falls, you have to have muscle.
So our age was kind of what's happening. And when I changed the channel over, all of a sudden there were so many comments about, oh my gosh, I just saw my doctor. He's telling me I'm not getting enough. And it was crazy. Like, the channel just kind of like the interaction, the comments, there were so many. There were like 5 comments with, I don't know who you are anymore, you're not eating whole food plant-based, I'm out of here. And I kind of doing 75% whole food plant-based, but it's just not enough to give you enough protein. So I had to change it a little bit. And then there were, I don't know, thousands and thousands of comments of people going, this is what I need, right? You've just told me what I need to know. So it became like this kind of new way of, it fueled me. I was like, oh great, let's make some new recipes. Let's do it, right? So there was all sorts of protein pancakes, and there was seitan, there was all this stuff, right? Yeah. Which is where we are now. So the channel changed, right? And I thought, no one's gonna wanna follow us now, and I don't care if you follow me or not, but I wanna show you what I'm doing, and I wanna know if you're doing it with me, right? Because I just hate doing this stuff alone, which is why we did this. And in the end, like, it's just, we're all together, right? Yeah. So thank you for that. 2024 was a huge changeover just for the channel that was not planned, right? That all had to do with walking in someplace going, I need help, getting some insight and realizing we need to make a change.
Yeah, so right? We pivoted.
We pivoted, and you pivoted.
Yes.
We all pivoted together, right? Pivot, right? So that was the big change there. That was in January, and you can see I'm a different person. Like, I'm just not the same person. And It has been amazing. So many people have commented about what they've started making changes. They followed Chronometer. I've educated them on Chronometer. I've added you as friends to my Chronometer so you can have my macros. Nobody's doing that because who would? That is like a full-time job managing those friendships, right?
And that right there was, you knew had a community.
I know, and so there's all this extra stuff I'm doing. Plus, everything I'm doing is free to everyone, right? Like there's no membership. Interesting that our friend Debbie Chu, the exact same thing at the exact same time, right? She realized the same thing, right? And again, because of our age, right? She pivoted also, right? So. And it wasn't just me, like, High Carb Hannah's talking about she's got a high protein book coming out, right? Like Bikiki talking about protein, like everyone's like pivoting, right? We're all like at the edge of the starch solution thing going, we're losing muscle, right?
Yeah. And how important that is, actually.
Yeah, it was amazing. January was great, got off to a good start. It set the pace all year long. Then we came into March. March was your 55th birthday. Double nickels, baby! 55. Tim is younger than me by 5 years. I know I'm the pretty one, but Tim's actually the younger one. Sorry, babe. But Tim turned 55. We knew it was coming. We knew this was going to be a big year for his birthday. So that was good. So March, we celebrated there, and then came April and May. May came along, and we knew this was going to happen, and we planned for this. Lex's high school graduation.
Yeah.
Lex finished high school. I'm a teacher, a high school teacher. Lex was at the school with me. Every day we went to school together, right? He was in one of my classes one year. Like, it was just kind of a thing for 4 years. And, of course, now he graduated. He's gone. He's not gone. He's like going to school down the road. He lives here, but I'm all alone in the mornings, right?
Yeah.
So Lex graduated high school. The funny thing is, we didn't invite anyone for a party. We weren't having a party. Lex is like an introvert, and our entire families, both of them, came over. They're like,
there was a point I had to sit him down and go, look, we didn't invite anyone, but everyone's coming. So, like,
right, the day of the party, right?
There's a party happening.
Yeah.
But that season was awesome. Like, there was a graduation from his academy.
The STEM
dinner.
academy. Yeah.
So parents showed up for that, right?
Yeah.
And then an awards banquet at the high school for kids getting scholarships, etc.
Yeah, and then he's a CT completer, so they did the CT signing. He's a 3-time CT completer.
Oh yeah, there was the sign-in at the auditorium. Yeah.
Right.
Then the graduation, and my parents were coming in from Florida, from Minnesota. They didn't want to miss the dinner. They didn't want to miss the actual graduation, seeing him walk. So, like, it just seemed like a season celebrating Lex getting to this milestone.
So we knew it was coming, right? We knew this was the year. He was the class of 2024. So Lex graduated high school, and it was an all-out bash, and it was amazing for him.
It was.
He had a great time.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the graduation party, right? It was also four-wheeling. It was, going out bowling. It was all these events,
because the cousins were here.
Yes, exactly.
So the other thing was, we weren't, even when they were coming, like, we're the week of his graduation. It's Monday. People are arriving on Wednesday. There's no party. Right? Like, we don't have a party planned for him. We're just like, we'll all go hang out at the graduation, and, it's outside on the football field, right before the weather gets hot. It was a beautiful evening, right? The lights are out, the band's playing. I was part of the graduation ceremony, right? So I was handing out the diploma. I handed Lex's diploma, right? So, it was just amazing, and we had no party plan. Your mother got here and was like, well, when's the party? And we're like, listen, hey, here's the money. Go to Party City, get some stuff, knock yourself out.
No, seriously. Like, on the way home from the airport, we literally stopped at a cake place, ordered all the cupcakes for everyone, right? And then stopped at Party City, got everything we needed there, and then made it home. And anyway, I called the company to get catering food, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, in a matter of an afternoon, everything was set. Yeah. Everything got planned.
This is how our wedding got planned too, by the way.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it was amazing.
Luckily for your mom. Like, your mom, her, I think the one trait she has that maybe people don't appreciate is she wants to help plan. Right? Yeah, she wants to be part of the planning process. And the one trait I do appreciate about her is, hey, knock yourself out. I don't have time for this, right? Yeah. And she will just take it and be like, I don't step on your toes. I'm like, no, Mom, go ahead, step on my toes. Do it all, right? You just tell me what you need, and I'll get it for you, but this is not my thing.
Yeah, and she definitely has a a power.
Oh,
She
yeah.
can kind of get anyone to do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Even Lex to sit down and read with her.
Yep.
You know, like
Yes. So thank goodness for her that she was here and she made this happen, right?
Absolutely, and just having everyone together, just a happy time.
It was amazing. It was, in fact, all the other cousins were like, you guys, everyone was so happy at your house. I was like, yeah, we were celebrating. So Lex's graduation happened. The end of May, we were all very excited. I also did the normal stuff that I'm not really including this, like taking the kids to Atlanta for Skills USA, and then I went to Japan, right? But I'm not even including that.
But a blessing though, nothing wrong happened.
No.
It was a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next big milestone we knew that was happening was Lex was getting his driver's license. And that was an ordeal, right? We did not go the traditional route with the school and all that. I taught him to drive, right? And he had to take that stupid driver's license test 3 times. He'd been driving all over the place. When April and Derek got here from North Carolina during the graduation, I had him drop me off at school, and I let him use my RAV4. And Derek had Lex drive him around everywhere, right? Derek was like, no, Lex, you got a permit, you're driving us around. So he knew how to drive.
Lex is very responsible.
Yeah, it was really
not
good.
reckless.
Right, no.
So it's funny that so Joey had mentioned he went 3 times.
Yeah.
One when Lex was driving a little too fast. The next one he was driving way too slow.
Right.
And
so
then by the third one,
yeah.
just
So
right.
these are the residential area, and he said from what he said, he was not driving too fast, but the guy was like, you need to drive slower than this. Like you need to be driving like at 10 miles an hour. So he fails Lex. So I'm like, okay, Lex, well, let's reschedule the test a month later, and this time I don't care if like ants are passing you. Drive slow. So again, another residential area, gets another lady, and this time she's like, you're not driving fast enough, right? And she fails him. So he was so upset, right? Like he was just so upset. He's like, I listened to you. I'm like, I know, but I mean I don't know what to tell you. So he took it a 3rd time in June. And I'm like, listen, just do what you want here. I don't know what to tell you. Like, hopefully you get someone that's okay. And that time he took it and passed it.
Yeah.
So he got his license in June, and we knew that was coming, and because we were just waiting for the increase in insurance, right? Because we knew that was going to happen, and it did. So that was a big deal. Lex got his driver's license, and talk of college started, right?
Yeah.
So that was June. August comes, and Lex has to go to college. And it was my plan all of these years, because let me just tell you, like every teenager, Lex is like, when I'm 18, I'm going to college. I ain't ever coming back. Like, I'm leaving this house and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is a real, like a hard place to live, right? Like, you got 2 dads who give you everything you ever wanted. Like, I literally clean up around you while you're walking, right? Like, I make every meal. You want a little snack? You want some meat? You want some slippers, right? Like, that must just be horrible, right? But teenagers, you can't ever make them happy. So, for years, he'd been saying, like, I'm going far away to college, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you can't go far enough, you know what I'm saying? So the time comes. We sign him up for ASU, right? He's got a GPA that's good enough to get in there. So he's going to take video, television production or something, right? That's what he does. He's a video editor. And he's doing ASU, right?
Yep, he's got a roommate assigned.
So we know his dorm, we know his building, his roommate, right? We match him up with a roommate, another introvert who doesn't want anything to do with anyone. We're all set. It's time to pay the tuition, right? He's got his classes showing, like he's ready to go, right? And I'm like, all right, we're going to pay the tuition. And he goes, do I really want to take on all this debt for college? We have a college account for him, but not enough to cover 4 years of ASU. I mean, we're talking.
I think it was surprising how much room and board was. It ended up being another $18,000.
Yeah, and because of the finances involved, Lex was going to have, even with our college savings fund, Lex was going to have a lot of student debt. And he just kept saying, I don't want any debt. Like, I don't want any debt. I want to go to the community college, which is just like 4 blocks away. And I was like...
And the whole reason for the college account was for him to go to school and not have to take on debt, so that he could go for whatever he wanted and not have to worry having that, like, cloud over him of debt.
But the college account is not enough to cover 4 years of ASU. Like, it's just not, right?
And I think he had an economics teacher who talked about student loans as well. And
So he didn't want to go. He wouldn't go to college. He's like, I'm not going. I'm like, what do you mean you're not going? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm going to go to the community college. I'm like, the community college? Like, no, you're going to ASU. And he's like, no, I'm going to the community college. And we went back and forth with this. And first he was like, it's about money. I don't want to start in debt, right? And that. And we were like, well, everyone does that. It's okay. You'll pay it off. And he's like, no. And then I said, all right, what if I'll just figure it out and I'll pay for your college so you don't have any debt, right? I'll just take out a loan or whatever. Not that I really want to do that. I didn't, but I was kind of trying to get to the the root of the problem here. And he finally told me that he just doesn't want to leave the house. So I was like, okay. And I'm so glad that he did. This is really his home, and I'm not trying to push him out. But it just goes to show you, teenagers, like, you know, they look for the day when they're leaving, and then the time comes, and they're like, do I really want to leave all this, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I think he had a competition at the school that he enrolled into, so he already kind of knew the campus.
Yeah.
He had been there a couple times, and then the entire
yes,
computer department.
Yes, we do.
You know, he goes to orientation. All of a sudden, everyone knows him.
Yeah, we have to enrollment with the school,
it just
so
really fit for him.
it was a fit. It was a natural fit for him.
And then they had a couple different programs. So one with computer analytics, but also video production and a sound stuff. So anyway, he's gonna get everything that he kind of wants.
Yeah.
To do stuff. So
like 4 blocks from the house.
yeah,
right.
So it's not really not that bad.
Right. So we agreed with him. We thought this was the best choice. So Lex went off to college this year, but didn't actually go away to college. He's just going back and forth commuting. We did get him an old Nissan Leaf, which was interesting because we wanted to get him a car. He wanted a car without any debt, right?
No debt.
No debt.
But also the cost of running and maintaining.
Right. So we got him an electric car. Now here's the deal. The 10-year-old, 11-year-old Nissan Leafs, nobody wants them, right? They're in amazing condition, but they only go because the batteries, like, were not cooled. They only go 15 miles, and then they got to be charged. Like, they won't go any further than that. Maybe 20.
Maybe
right?
36.
No,
Yeah.
this one even won't go 36, right?
It says.
Yeah. So no one's buying a car that goes 20 miles and then has to plugged in, right? No one, of course, unless you're a student going 4 blocks away to college. So that's what we got him. It was really cheap, right? It was like dirt cheap, and it's in great condition. But the trick is he can go to college and back for 3 or 4 times that week, and then plug in. He's fine. But like we wound up getting a deal on that because nobody wants these cars because no one can live with a car that goes 20 miles, right?
Yeah. So I'm happy to say, like, you know, we're now in December. He had an absolutely great year.
Oh yeah. So he
showed up for every class.
Yep, they're not
took responsibility.
Classes.
Really.
It's been an amazing first semester for college.
Yeah.
So Lex went off to college this year. We knew it was coming. So that was pretty exciting for us. But our plans did not go the way we thought. But we're still happy that I'm still happy that he chose to stay home.
Yeah. I think he's really happy as well.
Yeah, he's just not ready to leave. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not ready for him to leave either. So, and I know people are going to be like, well, you got to cut the cord, let it go. Listen, I want his childhood to last as long as it can.
And at this point, he's 17 years old, which moves us in. No, wait, at that
at
point,
that
going
point,
to school,
yeah.
17 years old.
Yeah.
So this fall, we had a significant milestone birthday.
Yeah, so that's the next thing. October hits, and it's Lex's birthday.
Yes.
The beginning of October is Lex's birthday. Lex turned 18 this year, right? Tim turned 55, Lex turned 18. Right? A huge milestone. I mean, selective service registration, he's an adult, like all that stuff, right? It was a big deal. So now we no longer have a child. We have we're a house of 3 adults.
Yeah. And then that month of October, that birthday happened, and then we had another birthday in October.
Right. Lex and I have birthdays right after each other. He's in early October, I'm in late October. So again, we knew this was coming. It was not a surprise. We knew all of these birthdays and milestones would hit the same year. It was my 60th birthday. So 60 years, right? And I normally don't celebrate birthdays. I don't want to celebrate them. It was kind of a hard one, right? But we decided we were all going to celebrate both mine and Lex's birthday as a family and go to Universal Studios Hollywood. Because Lex and I are gamers and we all love Super Nintendo, so we went to Super Nintendo World, right? Yep. And I had one goal, and that was to see Toad, right? That's all I wanted was to see Toad. But we did so much more. I'll throw some pictures on the screen here. It was an amazing trip. What a way to celebrate the weekend, right?
Yes, and then having been friends with Chew on Vegan.
Oh, Debbie Chew. Yeah, okay. So while we were there, right, we did the vegan festival.
Yeah.
The SoCal Veg Fest, right? And we called Deb and I have been wanting to meet for so long, right? So, and she's in California and she's in Pismo Beach. So we're like, I said, hey, I'm going to this festival. She goes, I'm going to that festival too. And I was like, this is amazing. Let's go together. So we met up with them and bumped around together. The whole birthday weekend for Lex and I was just, and it was Deb's birthday.
Oh, yeah. That's
right. Deb's birthday the day before mine. So it was the 3 of our birthdays. Now, we didn't know Deb before the year started, but what a fun celebration, right?
It was. I mean, everything worked out with the hotel room. So Lex had his own room.
Yeah.
Like the those are simple things, but no, it was just really a great trip all around.
So we had an amazing time, and then the big, if my 60th birthday wasn't big enough, and your 55th birthday, and Lex's 18th birthday wasn't big enough, and his graduation, if all of that wasn't big enough, it was yours and mine in December, 20th anniversary.
Yeah. Wow.
20 years together. Who would have thought, right? One day we have to tell that whole story. But it basically started with you and I on a chat app, right? 20 years later, here we are. So our 20th anniversary fell in the same year as all these milestone birthdays.
Yeah, 2024.
Yeah, 2024. That was an amazing year. Normally we just jump right into the next year and go, here's what we're doing. We don't usually do a review of the year, but so much stuff happened this year, right?
Yeah. The only negative, I think, was just it was a year of sore muscles.
Oh my gosh, my whole body is sore. Like, my whole body's sore all the time. Yeah, so 2024, what a milestone. It's over, right? Like, and part of me was looking forward to this year because of it. Part of me was dreading it because of it, because there was so much. And in there, like I said, it was a trip to Japan. There was a trip to Atlanta. Like, there was all this other stuff that I had to do, right? Tim's mom and her husband actually came by more than once. It wasn't just for graduation. They were here other times throughout the year. It was a lot of stuff going on at the Troxel home, right? Plus, like, I taught 100 and however many kids, 2 school years, right? Like the end of one year, the beginning of another. So I went to conferences. Like, I did so much in the busiest time of my year is the summer. I mean, I know I'm not working in the summer, but it's busier than the rest of the year for me, right? It's one thing after another. So thank you for standing by us, right? Thank you for being part of an amazing year, for everything that you all have done to be part of this process with us. 2025 is an exciting year. We have so much going on. I can't wait to get into that. We're going to start the year off early with a new episode of Plant-Based Besties with me and Deb. We're going to have a guest on, and I don't want to talk too much about her yet, but she's an amazing girl, and she's really going to add what the piece that we're missing to the conversation. So I can't wait we're about to record that next week, and then, we'll edit it, and Deb and I will put it up. So that's pretty exciting. We're going to have a lot more food. I just started working. I'm two recipes in of the 50 recipes for the ebook we're putting together, and it's looking really good. I'm pretty excited about that. It'll come up available on Amazon at some point this year. My goal is before spring break, right? So I'm working hard on that. And there's just so much more to show you. Now that we're yogurt makers, right? Like, I feel like there's a big scene out there for us to jump into.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and I'm using that on a taco to dressings, etc. But I really appreciate us working on the book, because I actually like looking at a book for a recipe, print out, then going to find the video.
Yeah.
It's nice. So I think there's a lot of you guys out there as well, and that's why you asked for a book. Still in this day and age of digital.
I have a collection of cookbooks. Like, I just love cookbooks.
I do too. So.
All right, that's our video for today. It's over. 2024. I mean, love it. I did love it. Was it a lot of work? It absolutely was. Would I do it all again? Absolutely, right?
Absolutely. And it was good to share. When we have positive years, we need to be sharing the positives, not just all the negatives. And this really was a good year for us. And that momentum heading into 2025.
That's really going to bring us everything. All right, hit that like button, show us some love, click on the subscribe button, click on that bell, you get notified every time we have a new video, usually every Tuesday, and leave a comment below. What was your favorite part of the year? It could be something that you did on the channel with us, or maybe something you did at home privately, or whatever. Let us know.
And if it wasn't a good year for you, hey, 2025 is brand new.
The only way to go is up. All right. See you next time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.